I'm Lear, and I'm a third-year PhD student in the Shipman Lab. I grew up in northern Colorado before receiving dual degrees in chemical engineering and neuroscience at Tulane University in New Orleans, where I graduated in 2018. Afterwards, I immediately enrolled in the UC Berkeley-UCSF Joint Bioengineering PhD program. I wanted to apply both my skill sets in neuroscience and engineering to develop molecular tools to advance our understanding of the brain. At that time, Seth Shipman had just opened up a lab at Gladstone dedicated to that exact purpose, and so I thought this was a perfect fit. What I love about Gladstone is that it has no walls and very kind people. So as an introvert, it sometimes takes me a while to warm up to people before I can really talk science with them and learn from them. That said, Gladstone encourages such a warm and dynamic culture that I immediately felt that I could talk to anyone about anything. And as a scientist, I find that the most helpful part of my development is to really be able to talk to other people and find mentors and guides. And at Gladstone, I was able to do that almost immediately. Well, my current research project is all about trying to edit mitochondrial DNA. So mitochondria are more than just the powerhouse of the cell that I think everyone learns about in middle school. They also have their own DNA, kind of like how the nucleus of cells also has its own DNA. So having mutations or errors in nuclear DNA results in all sorts of horrible genetic diseases like sickle cell or Huntington's disease. However, mutations or errors in mitochondrial DNA can also result in really bad illnesses, including neurodegenerative diseases such as Alzheimer's disease or Parkinson's disease. So, we do have gene editing tools that are capable of going ahead and editing and fixing some of these errors and mutations. However, currently, they're only optimized to work on nuclear DNA and fix errors in nuclear DNA. So my project is to take those same sort of gene editing tools and optimize them and change them so they can work on mitochondrial DNA as well. I think mentorship is vital to developing good scientists. Mentorship also has a very great return on investment. So if I'm a good scientist, in 1 decade, I may make one groundbreaking discovery. However, in that same decade, if I train 10 great scientists, each of those scientists can make their own groundbreaking discovery, resulting in 10 groundbreaking discoveries in that same decade. So as a result, I think mentorship is really important in the development of science and great research. Additionally, I felt that mentorship played a very important role in my own fairly smooth path to my PhD program as a result of wonderful mentors at both Tulane University as well as Stanford, where I attended another PUMAS-like program. And they helped push me away from small failures and have small wins. And I think that really helped foster confidence in my own scientific skills. So I'd like, as a result, to kind of learn how to be a great mentor myself. And I thought PUMAS was a great program to go ahead and start to learn some of those skills. So far, PUMAS is going very, very well. I'm co-mentoring my mentee with my wonderful lab mate, Rebecca Fang, and it's really interesting to see both our different but complementary mentoring styles and learn from each other. The mentee is doing great, and I'm learning just as much from her as she's learning from me, which I think is the start of a really great partnership. Well, I happen to be editor-in-chief of the Berkeley Science Review, which is a completely graduate-run magazine at UC Berkeley, where we go ahead and publish articles about research that is UC Berkeley affiliated. I think organizing these pieces, editing and writing these pieces have all been one of the most rewarding aspects of my time in graduate school thus far. I'm tempted to say Thomas Kuhn, whose book, The Structure of Scientific Revolutions, finally taught me what a paradigm shift is, but I think he qualifies more as a philosopher. So instead, I'm going to say Joshua Schimmel, who wrote one of the most humorous and practical books I've ever read about how to write good science. Generally, I'm very inspired by any researcher who, alongside their own academic work, is also able to publish books kind of aimed towards more general audiences, because it kind of mirrors my own dream of someday also being able to publish my own books.